All right, and on to our main topic, actually, of pretty much just how your taste in gaming has changed and how gaming has impacted you in your life. Steve, we'll let you go first since you were talking. You said one of your game franchises that really changed your view on gaming was Metroid.
Well, yeah, it's kind of not the game. It's not the game itself, but what people have done with it. I'd get a game, I'd beat it, then I'd do everything that I possibly could in the game, and that would be it. There'd really be no more replay value for the game. And then about 2004, I found SDA, Speed Demos Archive, and I watched a few speed runs there, and I thought, hey, this is pretty nifty, but it seems like something that you have to devote a lot of time to that I don't really have. And then 2005 came around, and I saw a 55-minute 100% run of Super Metroid that a person that goes by Red Scarlet did. And I thought, well, hey, my fastest 100% time on Super Metroid isn't much slower than that. Maybe I could do this. And so now whenever I, beat a game and do everything, I kind of don't really lose interest because I can always beat it faster.
Yeah, see, I've never been able to do speedruns very well. I guess I'm just not that good at gaming. But did you end up beating that time on Super Metroid?
Oh, no. No,
Oh,
no, no. That 55-minute time has been up on SDA for 6 years now.
oh, I was pulling for you to get that record there.
Yeah, no, I'm trying for the zero mission 100% time though.
Okay, and that
Close.
is what's the record?
The current time up on SDA is 56 minutes 11 seconds. I've
and
done
you're gonna go. Okay.
a run. I've done a run 55 minutes 51 seconds, and I need to
Okay.
actually, start recording.
Yeah, that's if you're gonna prove it, it's it's good to have proof. That's sort of what it hinges on, I suppose.
But I'm working on that, and I'm working on Final Fantasy IV, trying to beat it in under 3.5 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I can't even think about trying to do that. That's
yeah, that. First of all, I wouldn't do it because speedruns isn't really my thing.
Well, yeah, it's not for everyone.
No, I suppose it takes a certain kind of interest in the game to actually be able to do that because I rarely replay games after the first time even. So playing it over and over and over again, I don't think I'd do that.
Oh, yeah, I think I've played Zero Mission almost close to 1,000 times now.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, see, my problem would be I'd be in the middle of the speed run and then screw something up, and I would just do that. After a few times of that, I don't think I could ever look at that game again.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. I almost threw my Zero Mission card the first time when I came 3 seconds away from getting 5610. Oh, I was so mad.
Oh, man.
I was so angry about that.
Yeah, I can imagine why. I mean, oh my god. Yeah, that sounds terrible, actually.
Yeah, I couldn't take all that stress, man.
It's fun, and I enjoy doing it, but yeah, there are times when I got to put the game down, and I got to not touch it for a while. There's a lot of advice on SDA is if you're going to do a speed run, make sure that you do a game that you really love, because chances are you're not going to love it after you're done.
Yeah, but say that you beat the record, and I imagine you'd be quite proud of that.
Oh, yeah.
But what if somebody beats you after that?
Beat it again.
Oh my god. So you first play a game that you love, and after the speedrun you don't really like it anymore, and then somebody beats it and you have to play it again.
That's generally how it goes.
Okay, that
sounds...
sounds...
It's not that bad. I mean, I've never ran a game to the point that I absolutely hate it. So
okay,
and if somebody beats your time, yeah, that sucks, but that's really impressive because you've done everything you can to make that the best time you could possibly get on that game.
Yeah, that's very, very, very good of you to actually think that way. I probably wouldn't be able to think that way. I'd be frothing at the mouth and like tearing the guy's throat out. But yeah.
And plus, speedrunning can be kind of lucrative as far as money goes.
Okay.
Because people at SDA will post bounties for certain things on the forums. Like, there's one guy that's offering, I think it's $75 for someone to beat Emerald Hill Zone Act 1 in under 18 seconds in Sonic 2.
Oh, yeah.
Is he sure he can do that?
It's just on the possible side of impossible. I've done it in 19 seconds, and I can't get it any faster than that.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be a point where you absolutely cannot improve the time of a game any more than you can. I mean,
oh yeah, there's definitely a point. That 55-minute Super Metroid run is pretty much almost perfect.
Okay, so I mean, the only thing you can do that is shave off a millisecond or something, maybe, but
yeah, pretty much. It's little things like you need to jump and land 1 pixel to the left or something like that.
Do people actually do that? I mean, really go through the game trying to find these pixels, these milliseconds?
Yeah, for certain runs, yeah. It's one of those things. Someone at the Escapist, I think, described speedrunning the best out of everything. As speedrunners are, I think it's she said speedrunners are the video game equivalent of obsessive mountaineers.
Yeah, I can see that. That actually works.
But yeah, that's how my view of games has changed over the years.
Okay. That's not really how I imagined you would talk about it, but it works.
So it's more of a competitive thing for you now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you still play games just for the fun of it?
Oh yeah, especially the first time I get a game, it's not like I sit down like, all right, I have to beat this as fast as possible. But it's part of the enjoyment I get out of the games is picking them apart and finding all of the little fun glitches. Like, there's one in Ocarina of Time that doesn't really serve any purpose, but it's just fun and it's weird. And when you explain it to people, they kind of are like, what? Because you open up by saying, yeah, there's this glitch in Ocarina of Time that, the speedrunning community has named Ass Chest.
Okay.
And it's a way to corrupt the game's memory so you can go up to a Gerudo and pull items out of their backside.
Okay. What?
It serves no purpose. It won't get you through the game any faster. It's just a fun little thing. Like, look what I found.
Who found it? How?
I actually don't know who found it, but I imagine it probably came about when someone was figuring out all the stuff for one of the really big speed tricks that involves corrupting the game's memory to give you items really early.
Yeah, I still don't really... How do you even come up with that? I mean, you walk up to somebody in Gerudo and you pull items out of their ass.
Well, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And it's the look that everyone gives you. Like, yeah, ass chest. I can get fire arrows out of the backside of a person.
Yeah, they've been doing some weird stuff in the privacy of their own home.
And that's where it should stay, in the privacy of their homes.
It's things like that, and people like find something accidentally and be like, "How did I do that?" and then try to reproduce it, or they'll go into the game going, "I wonder if you can do this." That's generally how they're all found. It's just fun to, do that. It's like being a video game archaeologist. All of the stuff programmers didn't want you to find.
Yeah, I can see that because you guys would make excellent QA testers. You know that, right? Companies must be frothing at the mouth to get to you.
Oh, yeah. I actually don't know if anyone's like gone up to a speedrunner and been like, "Hey, playtest this for us."
I mean, it would be very effective.
Oh yeah, I know a few companies just absolutely hate us. Absolutely hate us. Retro Studios, the company that did the Metroid Prime series, after speedrunners got a hold of those games, they released new version after new version so fast to fix all of the bugs that were found.
See, you think they would? You think they would do with what Carl was saying? Hire you guys on because you guys are obviously good at finding this stuff.
No, yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I mean,
Well,
because like Microsoft hires hackers that hack their stuff, right? So
Yeah.
And I know there's a story about a guy. I think he was playing World of Warcraft, and his entire purpose with playing that game was find all these glitches and do really, really absurd stuff that you weren't supposed to be able to do. And Blizzard basically approached him and said, "Look, we've seen your stuff. Please come work for us." So
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that could happen. I mean, you're
I'm
obviously
sure it
proven that you
probably
can find glitches. So,
But you know,
Yeah.
that's one of the neat little things about speedrunning is finding all of the
Yeah.
nifty little things that are in the games.
yeah. I will never do it, but I respect the people who do it. I do. It's, like I said, it takes a special kind of person, I suppose.
Yeah, it's special kind of crazy.
We're all a little bit crazy. You guys are just a little bit more crazy.
crazier than the rest of us, yes.
Yeah.
Well, there are some really bad ones though. Like the guy that has the Contra record has on his wall framed like how many times he's played Contra, and it's an absurdly large number.
Okay, that's a little bit too crazy, I suppose. But hey, he loves the game, so I suppose that's good.
Oh yeah. So yeah,
yeah.
That's mine.
Have there ever? I mean, I guess you go into the games just wanting to pick them apart, but have there ever been a game that you played and you absolutely did not want to pick apart? Like you hated it from the get-go.
Final Fantasy VII: Dirge of Cerberus.
Okay, you did not want to speedrun that.
No, not at all.
Why though? I mean, okay, I've played the game and it wasn't brilliant or anything, but exactly why did you choose, or what made you decide not to want to speedrun it at all?
The way that the enemy AI works is basically a crapshoot on where they'll be and when they'll be there.
Okay.
So the majority of your time is going to come off of just luck on the game giving you a good spawn for enemies.
Okay, so you don't like random chances. You don't want that in your games.
You try to minimize it as much as possible.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, I could kind of see that with
But yeah, Chiron.
I'm trying to say, I kind of see where that would make, I guess, the more modern games or first-person shooters kind of more difficult to speedrun, I guess, because any of them that have a lot of randomization to their maps and stuff, it seems like that would add a lot of reattempts to your gaming, just on enemy placements and stuff like that.
I know the girl that is working on a Link to the Past run right now will be absolutely furious, and she'll be at, the second to last boss, and if the random number generator doesn't give her exactly what she wants the entire time, just reset the game and start all the way over from the beginning.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things in a lot of games that if the game just doesn't do what you want it to do, that it's a run killer.
I mean, yeah, okay, I can see that, but people actually go through with that anyway? I mean, wow, that takes dedication.
Final Fantasy IV, if I don't make it to the first Chocobo Forest without an encounter, I'll reset and start over. That's just the way it is.
I mean, that would kill a game for me. I would get so bored with it so fast.
You do, and you really need to take breaks after a while.
Yeah.
I try to limit myself to just like 3 attempts a day, if that.
Okay.
See, I was wondering about that. How do they for like a game for like Final Fantasy IV, you said you can beat it in how many hours?
My best right now is 340.
All right. Do you have to do that all in one attempt, or if you save, do they let you do that, or what?
It depends. There are two different categories for it. There's segmented runs, which you will go through a segment, save, and then start the game up again, and continue until your next point that you want to save, and keep reloading that save until you get it at that segment absolutely perfect, which is why segmented runs are a lot faster than single segment. And single segment runs, you just go through the entire game, one shot, no saving.
Yeah. Which one is considered best? I mean, there has to be a hierarchy. Do people prefer single segments or segmented runs? I mean, which one is the coolest?
It depends on the person, really. Segmented runs can be more technically perfect, but single segment runs, you'll generally find the players, because they want to try and get as close to a segmented time as possible. You'll see them take a lot more risks, do a lot harder tricks, things of that nature. So single segment runs are generally more exciting visually, if not technically.
Yeah, okay, I can see that, definitely.
So for a Final Fantasy run, how much of that stuff with the random encounters do you have to do? Do you just worry about the first Chocobo Forest, or?
There are a few places where it's a reset. The first Chocobo Forest, if I don't make it to Mysidia with an encounter, if I don't get through the Tower of Babel with only 2 encounters, it's a reset. Things like that. But generally, it's a random encounter. Run away from it.
Yeah, okay, so you don't fight it. You just...
No, it's only the mandatory fights get done.
Doesn't that make the game incredibly difficult?
I was one to wonder that, yeah.
There are two places where there's a serious chance that you could have your party entirely killed.
Yeah.
Other than that, not so much. There's so many ways to ruin enemy AI in that game.
Yeah, again, I really suggest you start applying to job as a QA tester. Because stuff like that is actually invaluable to companies. I'm not kidding you, because I made a game. I'm a game developer, if you didn't know that. I'm trying to become a game developer anyway. I made a game. These 2 last months we've been making a game, and when we presented it to the public at a conference here in Sweden, everybody came to the boss, and everybody almost immediately figured out a way to break his AI. So he was absolutely no threat at all, and we were standing there like idiots because everybody was just up to the boss. They were having fun, and then at the boss they just crammed him in a corner and then just beat him up. And
yeah,
we were like, shit, this is not good. And it turned out very poorly for us. We didn't get any votes at all. So but I mean, seriously, apply for jobs like that. You could easily get it if you have enough speedruns. So,
oh yeah,
especially in the future. Yeah, absolutely. I know companies look for stuff like this, especially for QA. So, I can at least try to get beta testing, because that would also be invaluable to companies. I'm sort of here trying to employ you, but I don't have a company, so I can't yet.
Are you willing to work for free?
I don't know about that. That's a little.
I only require 10 hours a day. Yeah.
Oh, I can give you that, no problem. Playing a game, no problem.
Okay. Okay, sweet. My first employee. It's a QA tester. Now I only need to have artists and programmers and QA and marketing and other stuff.
All of those things that make a company work.
Yeah.
You know?
And a budget. I suppose I should get money at some point too.
They can work without pay for the first few games.
Yeah, you hear that, Chiron?
Yeah, I'll just I'll tell my family they don't need to eat for a while.
You know, they can fend for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, they have to suffer for you. I mean, come on, it's your dream. Come on.
Starving artist and all of that.
Yeah.
It's the cliche, but it's a necessity.
All right, so programmer, a guy who tells people what to do, and a tester. Yeah, it's the ultimate company. That's good.
There's no stopping us.
I see a very brilliant future ahead of us. Don't worry about it. I'll just bullshit my way through the corporate meetings.
No, if Carl ever wants to actually make a game, though, I'll keep you in mind.
You get to speedrun it.
I will do that. I will play that game in ways you never even imagined it could be played.
That sounds almost dirty.
I know, right? Well, you gotta kind of romance the game before you just absolutely destroy it.
Yeah, change its life. You rock its world.
Oh, that's terrible! I can't. It's become that podcast.
What have you guys done? I take no responsibility.
You should.
It's all your fault.
Everything is Chiron's
Well, you're
fault.
the one that was like, "Hey, you want to be on a podcast?" Okay.
No.
I make no promises on what's going to get said.
But don't worry, this is sort of how our podcasts always end up. So
I don't feel as bad now.
no. Yeah. Let's not talk about that anymore.